Welcome back to episode, I don't know, 3? Season 2.
Season 2, episode 3.
Maybe episode 2, I'm not sure.
We're doing this quickly because Nico is not a sitter. So he's going to be gone in literally 30 seconds, I'm sure.
Yep. So this will very quickly, I'm sure, become the 3 of us.
But
right,
Jaxie was super excited to do video with Mums today, weren't you?
Yeah.
So what are we doing today, Bubba? We are answering questions for Down Syndrome Awareness Month, right? Yes, and you're going with your Jamie today. Yep.
Hi. Baby.
So I put out a little poll on my Instagram this morning on our stories. Just asking questions to see who has a question about Down syndrome, our life with Down syndrome, how Down syndrome affects our lives, just Down syndrome in general. So, yeah. So I guess Coco is off. Bye, Coco.
Bye, Coco.
Thank you for joining. Are you going to stay? Are you going to stay and do the video with Mums? Hey, listen to Mommy. Are you, Jax? Papa, listen to Mommy. Are you going to, yes, she's coming. Are you going to stay? All right, so we have not discussed anything ahead of time.
I have not seen the questions.
You have not seen the questions?
It's not my Instagram account.
There's quite a few repeats, which is good, and we'll definitely answer those. So one of the most common questions that have been asked is about our future. Do we have a plan for like the future when me and Alex get old and are no longer around, or like we can't care for the kids? Just kind of general questions about our future and what we have set up for that. So let's answer that one first.
Okay.
Okay, long story short, no. I don't know. I guess that's just way too far.
Stay.
Are you going to stay and do a video with us?
No.
Oh, I think you should.
Crisscross. We're talking about you, and you like to hear yourself being spoken about.
Yep.
You want a mom's lap.
As far as like financially, I mean, we're
Yes.
always setting money aside for the boys to make sure that like financially they're taken care of in the future. But as far as like a plan on like who they're going to live with, or like we have no clue. We have no clue who they're going to be as adults, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's a little too hard to.
Yeah. I mean, we have like godparents or guardians should something happen now,
Right.
but when they're adults and we're maybe not able to take care of them. Yeah, I think it's so hard to know without really seeing how independent they become as adults. I mean, fingers crossed, they're just going to both successfully run the coffee roastery and
Well,
like,
so that's
live on
another
their
thing
own.
I was going to say. So we're setting up Brand 47 Coffee Co. And that's another thing that like hopefully we can grow into something sustainable. We can employ the boys, we can employ other people with disabilities, and financially, you know, keep providing for them in the future. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great question, though. Great question.
This is a really good question.
Stumped us a little bit, but not too much.
Okay. A lot of people, and Alex is going to like this question, are asking if we're going to adopt more. And if we do, are we going to adopt more kids with Down syndrome? Why don't you start?
My answer is no,
Okay.
because adoption is a lot of money. Raising kids is a lot of money. You know, I think there's pros and cons to both sides of the equation. I think if we were to adopt another child, it'd be a child without Down syndrome so that the boys have someone to advocate for them as they get older and we get older and maybe can't. Not saying that we have another child to be a caregiver, just saying for them to have somebody as a peer age group to be there for them. That being said, we're like just starting to get some freedom because Nico was going to school 2 days a week, and
Jax is in grade 1, so he's gone like every weekday. But he's also becoming more independent, right? Like he's relying on us less and less. And I mean, he still needs a lot of hands-on help, but we're starting to see some of that like independence from him. So yeah, so we're kind of getting a bit more. But if you ask me, I mean, I really, 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 really want a third. Like Alex said, adoption, like we can't afford another adoption.
and we're not getting pregnant. So,
Well, and that's expensive too.
yes.
With no guarantees, right? So we'll see.
We'll see.
You know, if something fell into our lap and just like it happened and it was meant to be, then absolutely. But as far as like going the way we've traditionally gone with like through a private adoption agency, like the answer is no to that.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
do you want a baby sister? See, Jaxie says yes too.
Do you not want a baby sister?
Oh,
you want a dog?
He definitely wants a dog.
He wants a dog.
Yep. All right.
A noodle? What do you name your dog?
Yeah.
Rubble?
Yeah.
Zuma?
Yeah.
So someone asked, did the pandemic increase your worry over the boys' health by 1,000%? I guess the easy answer is initially yes. I mean, when this all started, no one really knew anything about anything with COVID. And I think as time is going on, especially where we are in Canada, our fears are definitely decreasing. We've opened up our lives a bit more. We're not living in fear from it like we were like the first few months. We're doing things. We're seeing people, not a ton of people.
Yeah.
But we're seeing people.
I think we found a nice happy medium. Like definitely in the beginning, you know, we
shut it down.
We shut it down. We bunkered in. The boys still don't go shopping. Like they don't go to the mall. They don't come to Costco with us. They don't go to the grocery store. They don't run errands. Like we run errands independently when they're not home, or we order groceries online. So that's probably the biggest thing that's changed. Obviously, the biggest thing was figuring out back to school for Jax.
Papa.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
You're okay.
We live in a community that we've been very fortunate that we've had a very low case count. So the fear hasn't been that high, and we know a lot of the precautions are being taken to keep him safe. So, yes and no.
Are you chatting? Did you want to say something?
You want to say something?
What did you want to say? What do you want to say?
Can you wave? Say hi.
Hi.
Next question.
Tips for having 2 children with Down syndrome.
Ooh, good question.
Sorry. I guess the biggest tip is you can't prepare for the second. I don't know. Like, our kids are completely opposite in every way, shape, and form, and I feel like that's with any sibling. So, like, as far as like developmentally or like, I just feel like you can't prepare for that at all with any child. I mean, I feel like you can mentally prepare for maybe the health things that will arise.
Yeah, I think the first child really lays the groundwork for the second child. So like you'll know what your supports are. You'll know who your resources are. You already will have a doctor that can take care of them. Like even if your first child is completely healthy and low resource needs, you'll still, I think, have like a really good foundation. So I thought that transition to the second child and the Down syndrome specific aspect was really easy. And we're very fortunate that Jackson was very medical needy, very resource needy, and Nico isn't. So it was definitely, I think it would have been harder doing it the other way. But that being said, anyone who says like going from 1 kid to 2 kids, regardless of DS or not, is easy, they're lying. It was, oh my gosh, it was
a hard
such
transition.
a transition. Like not at all what we were expecting.
It was. See, but I also feel like going, because we've already added to our family, like I felt a lot of guilt when going from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of my like struggles were
Jackson
with.
was still so needy. Like he wasn't walking, he still needed carried, he still slept bad. And you're trying to like love this infant, this newborn that needs love and attention and time.
He needed a lot, like,
and he needed it, and it was trying to split that. That was really hard.
It was hard. But I feel like adding a third, we already like, no. So
Here she goes.
So then someone else asked, I just saw this question pop up, like how do we handle all the appointments? So I guess like leading into that, we don't really have many appointments right now. So it's really nice.
I mean, I think, again, like Nico's very low appointment needy. They have some similar doctors, and the Children's Hospital in Calgary has always been really good if both of them need an appointment at trying to piggyback them.
Yeah.
Or if I say, hey, we're in town for Nico who's seeing this specialist, is there any chance we can get Jackson in with a different specialist the same week? They're very good at trying to accommodate. So we've been very fortunate. When it comes to standard physician appointments, When our doctor's office opened up after COVID, when they started to reopen, so that was June, we took them both to see the doctor. That was a nightmare. So now we go single file to the doctor. Same with blood work, x-rays. They both kind of need a bunch of stuff right now. And we're just doing them one at a time because Jackson actually gets really upset if Nico's upset. So more for Jackson's mental well-being, we take him by himself. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
What has surprised you the most about yourselves while raising both boys with Down syndrome? I just feel like, and I know Alex will agree, that we've both become all around just way more compassionate for everything.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. And it's not surprising, but I think that's one of the biggest things that we've seen in ourselves. Would you agree?
Yes. I think we've become less judgmental, more understanding, accepting, all the things that we want to see in people towards our boys, we've been able to bring on to the rest of the world as individuals. So they've definitely made us better people. I've got I was always someone with really low patience, and that's really changed. And Jackson specifically, because he's just a turkey.
Do you push buttons?
Really, no. I was gonna say, well, yeah, he pushes buttons. He totally pushes my buttons. But he's really like brought out like the kid in me. I think like I just have like more fun day to day. Like between the boys, like I live my life like a big giant child as well now, right?
So there, I have my 3 kids.
You have your 3, and one's a girl. Surprise! I love you.
Did you have to fight to have Jax in a mainstream class instead of a needs-based class? So we're very fortunate. His school district, there's no, like, inclusion is just a given. Yeah. Like, there's no questions asked. There's no other options. He's going to be included. Yeah. Every child's going to be included. And how can we support that inclusion? Whether it be with a one-on-one aid, an aid that pops in and out throughout the day, different therapies, resources. I mean, if your child has more like physical disabilities, how can we support those physical disabilities within the class? How can we support learning disabilities? So, I mean, no, it's just a given for his school district.
Yeah, great answer. Yeah. I got nothing to add.
Okay, I feel like maybe we have time for one more.
I had one from the coffee shop.
Oh, okay.
So I had posted a photo on Brand 47 Coffee Co. saying Jackson was helping me roast coffee. So I just said, if you had any questions, we'd be doing a vlog about it. So I'm going to answer the question we got. Someone asked about Hygiene. I believe she works with people with special needs and was just asking about, in our experience, how do you promote good hygiene for people with DS, especially as they grow up. And I know even with your brother, who's in his 30s, that tends to be a struggle. So I think that's a common thing. So I'll just thought maybe we'd touch on that. Sure. I find in my experience and my opinion on this is that it's not so much as a parent the inputs you're putting into hygiene. I think a lot of it's sensory, to be completely honest. Like
I would 100% agree.
Yeah, like both boys love baths, but Nico hates his head being touched, so he doesn't like getting water on his hair. Jackson's very oral sensory seeking, but he hates having his teeth brushed because I think it's too much sensation. Yeah. Nico loves having his teeth brushed because he likes the taste of toothpaste.
So if it was up to him, he would never brush his teeth.
But he'd bath every day.
Nico would never have his hair washed or his hair cut. And I'm sure that's going to translate into like when he's a teenager and when he starts shaving, that he's not going to want to have like his face and stuff touched, right?
You do get haircuts, good boy.
Yeah, you do good with haircuts. Yeah, you do. Coco not so much, eh? Mommy gets haircuts. Yeah. Mommy gets haircuts. So yeah, I would completely agree with that. And then maybe as an adult, if those sensory issues aren't dealt with or they're still there or whatever, like if you don't like the feeling of having your teeth brushed, why would you do it as an adult if you have control over that, right?
Yeah. So I think as a youth, recognizing what those needs are, and then getting the supports like through their OTs or whomever to find a way to regulate that sensory need so that they can tolerate those things. Because like Nico, if he stays the way he is, he'll be 20 years old and he'll have hair down to his butt and won't wash it.
And won't brush it or anything.
Yeah, it'll be a tangled mess. And Jackson will have this sweet, clean cut, but his teeth will fall out. So,
So I think as parents, like Alex said, we can support them with things like OT that, figures out different ways and techniques to get them to do things. And a lot of it's going to be desensitizing, right? So because Nico doesn't like getting his hair washed, it doesn't mean, okay, we avoid it. No, like...
he wash his hair.
You're washing your hair. And you brush your teeth every day, right?
You brush your teeth?
Yeah, and you do so good.
Yeah. Let's see those clean teeth. Like a puppy dog.
Right? And I mean, like, Jax, it's been 4 years of teeth brushing, 5 years of teeth brushing, and he's always hated it. And it's still a struggle. But when you think back to 4 years ago, yes, he's gotten better. It's still hard to brush his teeth, but we still do it.
We still do
right?
it. Yeah.
And, my hope is when we get to the teenage years that we've, he doesn't have those such extreme sensory issues with his mouth anymore. I don't know. But that's a great question.
Yeah, it is a really good question.
Okay, one more question.
Ooh, one more.
Someone asked this in our inbox. And I think it's a good way to wrap it up. What are the top 3 things you did or outlook you had on raising the boys, besides not being swayed by their insane cuteness? So top 3 things on our outlook.
Oh, that's a good question.
I just think, number 1, we're just super positive people.
Yep.
And we live our life very happy and always looking at the positives. So we don't dwell on anything. And we don't really let anything get us down, hey? Because there's always good in whatever situation, like, right?
Yeah, I think we try and look at the silver lining. And a great example is Jackson had heart surgery at 11 weeks old, and that was terrifying. But we could have let ourselves live in fear of that, and we looked at it as it was an opportunity for him to start fresh with a healthy heart and get that over with and be able to move on. And even though we had, that year was full of struggles, it set the foundation for him being as healthy as he is today. And it's like just having that in mind. And I know it's hard when you're in it, but that's what got us through those hard times. And now we can look back and it's like this tiniest little blip on the radar. Like it was a year 6 years ago, and now we're 6 years into it. By the time he's 16, we'll barely even remember the fear and worries we had for that stuff. So I think that's a big one. Yeah. And I think outlook, you said we're very positive people. Honestly, if you can just let them love you and soak in that, and let that guide you, I think you're on your way to a good life. If you have a bad day, not to compare you to a puppy dog, right?
Well, that brings me to my next point is comparing.
Yeah.
Don't compare your kid to anyone.
Yeah.
And that's, I feel a general rule just in with any child.
Yeah.
Because I feel once you start that comparison game in your head, it would get to you, right? This guy, he wasn't walking till he was 4.5 years old. Well, we could have dwelled for 4.5 years on the fact that all these kids with Down syndrome his age have been walking for years ahead of him. But it is what it is. And, they're on their own timeline. Let them lead the way. And
just celebrate the victories when they come. We celebrate everything because Jackson lives his life via cheers. Right, Bubba? Do you like being cheered for? You say, "Yay, Jackson! So proud of you." And that's it. So we don't compare it. We don't look at Coco and say, "Oh, he's 2 and he's been walking for months," or "Hey, he's not signing or talking and Jackson was," or XYZ on Facebook is. We just kind of take them as individuals, celebrate the wins when they come, and just know that...
Do you like a knee rub?
Yeah, they're going to get there. So, anything else?
I think that's it. Bubba, did you want to say anything? What did you want to say? Say hi. Hi.
Say... Can you say thank you? Can you say, I love you? I love you. Great job. What about hockey? Do you like hockey? Do you miss hockey? Can you say hockey?
Hockey.
Good. Do you want a puppy dog?
Honey.
Jamie,
Oh, Jamie.
yes. You're
Jamie,
going with your Jamie today. Well, should we say goodbye? Bath. Yes.
You did
You
have
were
it.
swimming.
You were swimming.
Pictures.
Okay.
All right.
What else? You say bye-bye. Say thank you.
Let's say thank you. Can you say thank you?
Thank you.
You're welcome, right?
Thanks for all the great questions,
Thank
and
you.
we'll definitely do this again. So if your question didn't get answered, message us. We'll do it on round 2. Thanks, guys. Say peace out.
Hey.
Peace.
Peace. Peace.